Governor DeSantis at FIU.
Very smart people.
Talks on an increase in cancer research funding and the race for chief of state. Kaplan News is live. Breakup 2.0.
Everyone can have a good time.
The newest rules set in place for spring breakers in South Beach. Wanting justice.
How did Daddy die?
A family seeks answers after a shooting left one man dead. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Jason Hara.
And I'm Dylan Bazay, and today is Monday, March 3rd, 2025.
Live from the Lee Kaplan School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Kaplan News.
A fellow stopped for Florida's governor, and he wasn't alone. Governor Ron DeSantis touched down at FIU on Friday to announce investments in cancer research.
He was asked about the 2026 governor's race following a key endorsement by President Trump last week, and rumors are circulating that his wife, First Lady Casey DeSantis, will run. We bring you live now to Kaplan's Anthony Cruz, who is at FIU's MMC campus.
Dylan and Jason, it seems like we've gotten an answer, but not an official announcement just yet. And this is after Governor Ron DeSantis was seen to be against President Trump's pick in Naples Congressman Byron Donalds, which means that if the First Lady does end up running, we will likely see Trump versus DeSantis too, but this time in the 2026 Florida governor's race. Governor Ron DeSantis announcing a significant increase in cancer research across the state of Florida and at FIU in one of its research labs Friday afternoon.
With this innovation grant program, we're investing in very smart people that are involved in researching, the scientists, the healthcare professionals who want to find treatments for cancer, but ultimately a cure.
The governor said that First Lady Casey DeSantis has helped spearhead these efforts. A survivor of breast cancer herself, she sent a message to families suffering from it.
And know this, if I can stand here and I can fight for you, know that there is hope, and fight for yourself and fight for your loved ones.
And when asked the question on everyone's minds, she answered,
Well, I would say one thing, to quote the late, great Yogi Berra, when you come to a fork in the road, take it.
I've had people coming up to me for years begging to get her in the fray because I think you see with her presentation. I mean, she's passionate, she's articulate, she's smart.
The governor continued by saying that his wife is more conservative than him. Reporting for Kaplan News live from FIU's MMC campus, I'm Anthony Cruz.
A family in mourning after their son, who was riding an ATV, was gunned down and are seeking justice. Kaplan's Laura Iglesias brings us more on what occurred for this man to be laid to rest.
And I'm the one that witnessed my son lying in the blood on the ground dead.
A mother in anguish after her son was gunned down 1 week ago in Winter Garden, Florida. Jaquin Williams was also a father of 3 young children.
And I don't know what to tell my 6-year-old son when he asks, how did Daddy die? Why isn't Daddy here anymore?
The family is now represented by civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who is questioning what led up the shooting.
The question is, who else has accountability in this matter? And that's what we're seeking here today.
Williams was killed while riding his ATV near the Bay Point apartments. Police say it came at the hands of Ralph Hensel, who was lying in wait before shooting Williams as he rode past on his ATV. Crump says Hensel did maintenance for the complex and told us people who live there say he previously threatened ATV riders.
If he had been threatening them before and they did nothing about it, then Jaquin's blood is on their hands too.
According to investigators, Hensel admitted killing the victim and is being held without bond on a charge of first-degree murder. As the case moves towards trial, Crump is calling for transparency.
I want everybody to be able to stand up as a community and say we stood up for justice. We stood up for accountability. And so his death won't be in vain.
Reporting for Kaplan News, I'm Laura Iglesias.
Hamas is calling Israel's move to stop all humanitarian aid from going into Gaza, quote, a cheap blackmail and a war crime. This comes after phase 1 of the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas expired, with Hamas refusing a U.S.-backed extension to the initial plan that Israel supports and insisted on, advancing into the second phase.
If Hamas thinks that the ceasefire can continue, or that it can benefit from the terms of Phase A without us receiving hostages, it is deeply mistaken.
An Israeli spokesperson says that the fragile Gaza ceasefire will not continue without the release of more Israeli hostages, while the Prime Minister's office warns of additional consequences.
Pope Francis is still being treated for pneumonia, but no longer needs a breathing machine. The Pope is getting oxygen and remains in stable condition, though he's not out of danger just yet. Tonight, a Vatican cardinal will lead a rosary at St. Peter's Square, where people have been praying and gathering for his recovery.
Spring break has officially kicked off on Ocean Drive, but the city is putting a stop to all partygoers and rowdy crowds after previous years of chaos. Kaplan News reporter Valentina Gaspari has more on the reality check and what that means for businesses on South Beach.
Starting in these next days, South Beach will start to look a little different as the measures from the city of Miami Beach for spring break start to take effect. I spoke to a restaurant owner who tells me these rules are not in her favor.
The city of Miami Beach is sending a clear message to spring breakers this year.
We broke up with spring break. Some people ask, are you getting back together? No, we're done. We are done.
Don't feel unsafe at all.
Everyone can have a good time.
A reality check from last year's breakup coming with serious rules.
You're drinking in public, that's not allowed. The speaker, that's not allowed.
$100 parking fees, garage closures, DUI checkpoints, heavy police presence, limited beach access, curfews, and a non-resident towing rate of $532.
Everything that they're doing is not beneficial for anyone in small business.
Stephanie Vittori is the owner of Cheeseburger Baby, a burger joint on Washington Avenue since 2001. She believes the city has gone too far with the level of strictness.
Them doing this curfew crap and everything else, like, it's ridiculous. It's like, we're not 12.
Vittori says sales went down 50% last March, and with more rules and less crowds.
How will these new measures impact your business?
My staff has less hours. My bread guy's not making money either. My Cisco girl isn't making money. My Chano girl, it all goes, it's a snowball effect.
She is taking matters into her own hands.
I'm going into my personal money now that I've worked the last 20 years for to put back in, you know, to keep it afloat.
It's clear the city of Miami Beach does not want rowdy crowds. But for a restaurant that has become a staple for over 20 years, Vittori says there are better ways the city can welcome those who come to party.
Put marketing dollars into, like, how to support the beach, how to make it better.
This reality check will take place the whole month of March. Miami Beach Mayor Stephen Miner saying safety is their top priority for visitors and residents. In Miami Beach, I'm Valentina Gaspari, Kaplan News.
Roll up the red carpet, a recap of last night's Oscars award show.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
Weekend launches Dinos Among Us. It's going to be a great attraction.
Zoo Miami gets prehistoric with their dinosaur exhibit. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting
and even though we're overcoming obstacles,
Watching each other's backs,
and banding together.
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an
to
effort.
get to know each other,
on a deeper level.
Father,
cosplayer,
Mentor.
Actor.
it's time we take a step forward
it's time we take a step forward.
Come together.
and discover
How accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Dino Zoo, the world of dinosaurs brought to life in Miami-Dade. Zoo Miami has turned into a Jurassic Park for the next few months.
You may be right, Dylan, and Kaplan's Hannah Spence has more on the dinosaurs.
Hello everyone, I'm here at a sneak peek preview at Zoo Miami's Dinos Among Us, a great interactive exhibit that brings us back billions of years when dinosaurs roamed this earth.
From now until September 14th, Zoo Miami will be bringing us back in time with Dinos Among Us, an exhibit featuring animatronic dinosaurs such as the mighty Tyrannosaurus Rex and sauropods, as well as many fun activities.
This weekend launches Dinos Among Us. It's going to be a great attraction where we've got over 20 different types of dinosaurs and prehistoric predators that come here. Kids can listen to the music, they can interact.
The family-friendly attraction has something for everyone, such as a prehistoric scavenger hunt aimed at children, while others will appreciate learning facts about the animals that used to rule the earth.
Also, we have a new scavenger hunt that we've never had before, again, for people to interact with the dinosaurs, to make sure they've seen them all, to collect a cool prize while supplies last. We have a research station that's brand new.
Dinos Among Us only comes around once every few years because it is so costly. Some of the creatures can even be spotted where modern animals can usually be found.
So you can come out here all day long. We're going to have some roaming characters during this weekend. We've got a Tyrannosaurus Rex. We've got another one where you can take pictures. You can meet Ellie, our mascot's going to come out here too. You can meet those people. So there's all kinds of events. They're going to have meet and greets with some reptiles coming out. Some of our ambassador reptiles will come out throughout the weekend at certain times.
With interactive games and animatronic creatures at every corner, this year's Dinos Among Us is one you don't want to miss. I'm Hannah Spence with Kaplan News.
It was a big night in entertainment as Hollywood handed out its Academy Awards. Wicked star Cynthia Arevalo and Ariana Grande started the show off with a medley of songs. Zoe Saldana from the film Emilia Perez got emotional after receiving Best Supporting Actress Oscar. Meanwhile, the indie film Anora won 5 awards. They were Picture, Director, Lead Actress, Editing, and Original Screenplay. You're watching Newsbreak, and we will be right back.
Really use a new tablet. I just don't have the money.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a Pell Grant?
Yes?
You do know you can get a free tablet, right?
Did you say free?
Yeah, free. It's simple. And the application is done in the store.
I could really use a tablet.
Get one. Another satisfied customer. Stop by Pantotech in the Graham Center at FIU MMC today to speak with one of our associates to get your free tablet.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life. But how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have something called prediabetes. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Jason Harrow.
And I'm Dylan Bazay, and you can get more news anytime at kaplannews.fiu.edu.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew a girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day.
Millions of people are connecting
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together.
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an
to
effort.
get to know each other,
on a deeper level.
Father,
cosplayer,
Mentor.
Actor.
it's time we take a step forward
it's time we take a step forward.
Come together.
and discover
How accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Season ahead, a look inside Inter Miami as the MLS season starts.
Miami Showdown, a preview of FIU versus UM baseball at Lone Depot Park.
And going bananas for baseball, exclusive coverage of the Banana Ball. All of this and more on the sideline. Hello, South Florida, and welcome to the Sideline, the place where you get all your sports news and highlights from your South Florida teams. I'm Julian Descano.
I'm Mia Florian, and the Sideline starts now. The MLS is back, and Inter Miami sets their goal to play at the highest level in all competitions this year.
Sideline's Mauro Rueda has more on the team's new look and how they're preparing for the long season ahead.
After a historic regular season and a disappointing exit in the playoffs last year, Inter Miami has a different coach, new signings, and will look to make history in the new season.
Jordi Alba is amongst the team's most experienced players, well accustomed to competing in several tournaments during a long season.
Competitions are not won with 11 players. It takes the whole squad. Unfortunately, there will be injuries and suspensions, so players must be ready when it's their time to play. I think there is a very competitive team that will surely help us win titles.
New head coach Javier Mascherano is taking one step at a time while managing his first club after a successful playing career.
I think that in a season as long as this one, looking further than the next game would be a mistake. We will look at the Club World Cup and Leagues Cup when it's time to do that. Now, our focus is to start the MLS season in the best way possible.
One major change this year is goalkeeper Oscar Ustari now starting instead of Drake Callender after re-signing in January.
Good. I feel good. Luckily, from a physical standpoint, I felt good for a while. And on the pitch, the goalkeeper always needs to play some minutes and find continuity. I'm having that today, and can also share the experience I have due to my career.
Stars like Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez will be back for Inter Miami this season as they look to win their first MLS Cup ever in the last season here at Chase Stadium. Reporting for Kaplan News, I'm Mauro Rueda.
Now heading into the season, Inter Miami secured its first victory in the 2025 MLS regular season. They dominated over the host Houston Dynamo last night with a 4-1 win. Luis Suarez was the MVP, assisting the first 3 goals, and later extended the team's lead to 0-4 with his own in the 79th minute. Starting the season off well, This win continues Inter Miami's undefeated streak.
The Ice Cats beat the Calgary Flames 3-0 this past weekend, making it Florida's 8th win in 10 games. Sergei Bobrovsky stopped 23 shots from the Flames. We saw Rodriguez and Gajovic both score in the second period of the match, and then Samoskevich sealed the game and scored the third goal with just 3 minutes left. It was clear Calgary doesn't bring their offense to Florida since they lost their past 2 games in the state this week. Although Florida's Matthew Tkachuk continues out of the game with an injury from the Four Nations face-off, the Panthers seem to be holding up just fine.
And following their win against the Pacers, Miami were hoping to continue their home game winning streak against the Knicks, but they couldn't secure the win. Miami opened up with a Bam Adebayo driving a slam dunk, followed with Kelly Ware jamming in a bucket to push Miami ahead. Miami kept their lead up until the fourth quarter, where Knicks' Jalen Brunson driving in a layup to tie the game, taking it into overtime. Miami fought hard to get a win with a Bam scoring fadeaway jumper to give them back the lead, but the Knicks didn't stay down and the Heat fell just short of 4 points. The final score was Knicks 116, Miami 112. Miami will continue their home game stretch against the Washington Wizards tonight at 7:30. A showdown for the 305 will take place Tuesday night at Lone Depot Park between the FIU and UM baseball teams.
Sidelines Anthony Cruz got to catch up with some of the players and joins us live from the FIU baseball stadium. Anthony?
Mia and Julian, it's one of those games that's circled on the calendar every single year at the FIU baseball stadium. And now that it's being upgraded to the site of one of the biggest upsets in school history, FIU will look to rekindle some of that magic tomorrow.
Serrano sends it into left field, base hit. Fred around third, coming to the plate. FIU wins it. Another walk-off.
It's been that kind of start for FIU baseball this season. After a clean sweep of the Merrimack Warriors this weekend, they sit at 11-1 at home, entering this backyard rivalry game. And with their upcoming schedule loaded with Florida schools, star first baseman Brylan West says that FIU is trying to show that they can hang with the top teams in the state.
Man, we're just trying to prove that we belong. You know, like I said, just one game at a time. We're going to show up. We're going to play hard. We're going to play to the best of our abilities. We're going to pitch. We're going to hit, you know, and then like hopefully we get the dub on top each game.
West, one of FIU's best hitters, is looking to send one over the wall at Lone Depot.
Man, it'd be cool, you know. It'd be really cool. Something that probably a few people has done in their baseball career.
And senior Logan Rundy, who's been one of FIU's top pitchers to open up the season, says he's also excited about playing in a professional stadium for the first time.
I mean, definitely a dream come true. I've never done such a thing, so I'm going to be really looking forward to this game, and it was circled on the calendar right when it came out.
And a battle for the 305 would not be complete without a little Miami Vice, so FIU will be wearing their recently debuted Vice jerseys on Tuesday. Bringing Miami Vice and some cafecito to Lone Depot Park. I guess you could call this game the Dale Bowl. Reporting for Kaplan News, live from Lone Depot, live from FIU Baseball Stadium. I'm Anthony Cruz.
And now for our biggest W's and L's, a weekly segment where we look down at the biggest wins and worst losses of the week. Starting off with your W, Mia.
Well, my W is Inter Miami's 4-1 win against the Houston Dynamo last night. Miami's midfielder Telasco Segovia scored 2 goals, making his record 3 goals in his only 2 MLS games. The other goals were scored by Allende and Suarez, and of course, we can't forget, during extra time, Ian Frey did receive a red card over a verbal exchange. Of course, Mascherano was furious, but what the ref says goes. Inter has been starting off strong this 2025 MLS season, and they stand 3rd place under Philadelphia and Columbus.
And my biggest W of the week, we will take us to Spain, where the soccer royalty Real Madrid faced off against underdogs Real Betis in a La Liga match. Already coming off 2 previous wins spearheaded by former Manchester United winger Antony, Real Betis were hoping to continue their winning streak into the weekend against an already stacked Real Madrid roster. Madrid opened up the scoreboard early in the first half with Brahim Diaz scoring a tap-in assisted by left-back Ferland Mendy. However, Betis refused to let go, with former Real Madrid star Isco crossing it into the midfielder Johnny Cardasso, who sunk it in the back of the net to tie the game. Early in the second half, Betis won themselves a penalty where former Madrista was able to sink it in and gave them the win. The final score was Real Betis 2, Real Madrid 1.
Okay, and now for my L. We're going to take it back to Saturday night's main event where Tank Davis and Lamont Roach's fight was ruled a majority draw. This result was not anticipated at all, and it was honestly pretty disappointing to see. You know, Tank had a flawless professional record of 30 wins with 28 by knockout with no draws or losses. And now it kind of just seems wrong to see that one draw on his record. But at least he was able to retain his title belt. And if we're being honest, it was a pretty even fight, so I think the draw was fair enough. Of course, the fighters didn't agree though, especially Roach, after Tank took a knee in the 9th round and wasn't counted as a knockdown. After the fight, Tank stated that it was because the grease that his stylist put in his hair was getting into his eyes. Can you believe that?
I can't believe that. But my biggest L of the week brings us to NCAA men's basketball, where number 3 ranked Florida went against unranked Georgia State team. The Gators entered the game riding a 6-game winning streak and were heavy favorites to win, but the Bulldogs had something else in store for the Gators. From the start, Georgia came out aggressive, setting the tone with their defensive pressure and efficient shooting. Georgia's Silas Damari Jr. balled out with a 21-point performance, hitting 4 3-pointers that kept the Bulldogs in control for virtually the entire game. Florida, on the other hand, couldn't even find their rhythm, struggling to contain Georgia's guards and failed to get key defensive stops. They did make a late push in the second half, however, cutting Georgia's lead to a single possession at the times. But even though Florida seemed like they were coming back, Georgia responded with a big shot and a defensive bind. Final score was Florida 83, Georgia 88. We have to go to break, but stick around because here's what's next on the sideline.
Well, I think a few years ago, ESPN called it the greatest show in sports, and we're trying to be the fastest, most entertaining game out there. And
a look inside the entertaining world of banana ball. Sideline will take a timeout, and we'll be back after the break.
Really use a new tablet. I just don't have the money.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a Pell Grant?
Yes?
You do know you can get a free tablet, right?
Did you say free?
Yeah, free. It's simple. And the application is done in the store.
I could really use a tablet.
Get one. Another satisfied customer. Stop by Panthertech in the Graham Center at FIU MMC today to speak with one of our associates to get your free tablet.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life. But how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have something called prediabetes. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
The Savannah Bananas were in Miami, and no, I'm not talking about the fruit, though this team definitely brought the peel.
Peel? Really? That was bananas, man. But you're right, this team turned baseball into a full-blown party. Sideline's Nicolette Esper joins the fun and has more on the story.
For those of you who haven't heard of the Savannah Bananas, they're the viral sensation that's taking baseball by a storm. They're trading in the traditional 9 innings for a 2-hour high-energy spectacle that's part baseball, part circus, and 100% pure entertainment. The best part is they came right back here to the 305.
So what exactly is Banana Ball? It's a high-energy twist on traditional baseball, faster, funnier, and full of surprises.
Well, I think a few years ago, ESPN called it the greatest show in sports, and we're trying to be the fastest, most entertaining game out there. And we're fortunate that we're having these games now in an hour and 52 hours, and just action-packed, and that's what we're trying to build.
Knowing how to play the game of baseball at a high level is important. That is why most players, like Miami native Armando Becerra, have a great history in the game.
Yeah, I have a long history in baseball. I went up to play in South Carolina, and in that region I got picked to play for the Bananas first in 2022, and pretty much once I finished at FIU, graduated, I pretty much got contacted by Coach Tyler Gillum to come play for the Party Animals, and here I am.
Whether it's the unique rules, the Miami vibe, or the love of the game, one thing's for sure, Banana Ball is changing the way we think about baseball. And for the fans and players alike, it's an experience they'll never forget.
The Savannah Bananas promise a baseball experience like no other, and of course, as you can see, they deliver every time. From the fans to the players, they are sure to leave with a smile on their face. You can visit thesavannahbananas.com to find out when they come to a stadium near you and maybe catch some banana ball of your own. For now, at Lone Depot Park, reporting for Sideline, I'm Nicolette Esper.
Well, that really was bananas, but it's time for this week's Game Picks.
We have Sabrina Lozano with our game picks for this week.
Hello everyone, I'm Sabrina Lozano and welcome back to Game Picks. First up, the Miami Heat face the Washington Wizards tonight. The Heat have had some strong performances this season, but consistency has been their biggest challenge. Tyler Hero continues to step up as a key offensive weapon, while Bam Adebayo remains a dominant force in the paint. On the other side, the Wizards have struggled defensively and have had difficulty closing out games. Given Miami's depth and experience, I expect the Heat to come out on top. Next, we shift to the ice as the Florida Panthers take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Panthers have been one of the most well-rounded teams in the NHL this season, thanks to their strong defensive play. Meanwhile, the Lightning remain a dangerous opponent with their championship pedigree and the ability to put up points quickly. This one's going to be a close one, but I believe the Panthers' momentum give them the edge. Finally, we turn to the CONCACAF Champions Cup, where Inter Miami takes on Cavalier SC. Inter Miami has been in excellent form, coming off a dominant 4-1 win last night and remaining undefeated this season. Their solid teamwork and attacking style have made them tough to beat. While Cavalier is a strong team, I expect Miami's pace and skill to give them the advantage. That's a wrap for this week's Game Picks. Until next time, I'm Sabrina Lozano. Thanks for watching.
Just a reminder that if you want to keep up with updates, fun segments, and more from our crew, you can follow our Instagram for all things Sideline. Follow us at sideline.kaplan. That's it for today. I'm Mia Florian.
And I'm Julian Lescano. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next week on The Sideline.